The last piece of advice for the beginning series of designer advice. Now, in my original article, I had 8. I've consolidated and kind of changed, my thinking with some of it and just kind of condensed it down. My 6th piece of advice is focus on people. It's all about people. This is something that I just live by in general. As in addition to being a principle that's really important for starting a brand, but people are your biggest resource, especially something like starting a clothing line. You want to draw from as many people's experiences as possible, and people that have been doing it really well for years before you. Sure, maybe a very business shark side of you wants to see them as competition, but on a more human level, they're people, so you want to have more allies than you have enemies, so because I fully believe you can have a competitive spirit and still be, have a great amount of support from a lot of other brands. This is also sales 101. It's relationship building 101. The only thing that I had to offer in the beginning of my journey in trying to become a designer and to learn about clothing was my friendship. Because there's nothing that I could give any of those people that I met in Las Vegas when I would go to the trade show when I was like 19 and 20 years old. I was just a kid in college that had a dream. I would invest in people, and I still invest in people to this day. The relationships that I forged in the first 2, 3, 4 years of that, I'm friends, or I keep tabs on still a lot of those people. And whether I meet someone who's just coming into the game, it is important to have equity in all of those relationships. And it doesn't matter where they're at, and up and beyond clothing. You might just end up in a completely different industry, and those relationships might, definitely be able to help you in a way that you're not even thinking that those things wouldn't even align for 10 or 5 or 20 years. I remember one of the first production managers I ever worked with told me to basically treat all my vendors like trash, because they work for us, or they worked for the brand or the company that I was at the time. And they were trained. I was transitioning from design to a little bit of production management. This company was beginning to multitask because we were kind of getting spread thin. In any case, I got introduced to our vendors in China and Pakistan, and I was told to treat them like crap. But I'm just, if you know me, I'm just not that kind of person, and I could never do that. If I don't know you and you never disrespected me or done anything to make me hate you, I'm typically a pretty jovial kind of dude. I decided that I wanted to try a new strategy. If everyone was treating their vendors like crap, and I could tell when via emails and when I would talk to them on the phone that they have long days wherever they're at in China, Hong Kong, whatever it is, because the production side of things is a very, very crazy hustle. There's so many moving parts to not only one brand but one piece that you might be making. I early on would embrace my vendors and be really good to them. I would send them cards. I would send them thank you cards. I would try to find gift certificates that was local to them, so I would order it and then send it to them. Whenever I was sent overseas to visit production, I would bring chocolates or gifts. One of my vendors in China, I had such a great relationship with them that I would then start bringing gifts for their kids, and they would invite me over to their home to have dinner. I don't believe they're in production anymore, but I still value that relationship, and they still contact me today, and they always ask if there's anything that I need that they can possibly help with for me to reach out to them. And there's no commercial value to it right now, I guess, apparel-wise, but for me, that's not the point. The point is that there are people. We just happen to be working in this industry, or whatever industry that is. So I invest in that, whether they're starting their first day in sales or as a vendor. They do accounts payable. Everything is important. It's a very important part of a functioning machine. And, you know, I always approach the people that I work with and people that I work with internally and outside. I always try to approach them with gratitude for their time and contribution to the brand. So that's 6 tips. I hope that helps. More specific questions on any of them, please leave comments below or on the other videos.